Okay, Chapter 3, Section 6, Adding and Subtracting Fractions. So first we're going to start with kind of a realistic example, 1/8 plus 5/8. And I'm going to draw a picture to represent this. The easiest picture that comes to mind for me are pizzas. So I'm going to draw a couple pizzas to help me get a visual for this problem. Okay, say I have two pizzas here. Now, this one's really not too bad because each pizza is broken up into eighths. I look at the denominator there. So I'm going to do that quick. Okay, so each pizza is broken up into eighths. And this first one says I have 1/8, so just one of those. And the second fraction says I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/8. Okay, so this one's pretty easy to see. If I move this one over to here, I have 6/8, or you can see in the picture that I have 6/8, which is the same as 3/4 of the pizza. So you can always use pizzas to represent those common fractions. Okay, so we have some steps to adding and subtracting fractions that we're going to put in our notes. The first step is always going to be changing them to improper fractions. So if they're mixed numbers, we just change them to improper. That's it. Second step is we have to create common denominators. We can't put things together unless they have common denominators. Third step is we just add or subtract the tops, and we carry the bottom. The bottom really just represents the size of piece that we have. So we carry it. It stays the same. And then the last step is always and will always be reduce or change to mix. If you need to pause to get these down, be sure to do so. Alright, let's do some examples. So I'm literally just going to go through my steps here to solve each problem. So first step is I'm going to change each to an improper fraction. So 6 times 1 is 6, plus 1 is 7. You can't forget to carry the negative, so this is negative 7/6. Minus 9 times 2 is 18, plus 2 is 20. 20/9. So I need to have a common denominator here. So I try to think of the least common multiple of 6 and 9. The smallest number that they both go into. So I'm going to count by 6's here. 6, 12, nope, 9 doesn't go into 12, 18. Yeah, 9 goes into 18, so that's the smallest one, first one I hit. So to make this one 18, I have to times the 6 by 3, and whatever you do to the bottom, you have to do the same thing to the top. And to make the second one 18, I need to times the 9 by 2. So again, I have to do the same thing to the top. This is just a nice way to show your work. So my equivalent fractions, I'm going to write below here, are negative 21. Again, we can't forget to carry this negative through the problem. Over 18 minus 40 over 18. Now that we have common denominators, I can just add or subtract the problems. So I look, I see I have negative 21 minus 40. So be careful with your integer operations here. Negative 21 minus 40 is negative 61. And the denominator, we just carry it over, it's just 18. So if you want to use a calculator, you can. You can just use 61 divided by 18 to figure out how many holes go in 18 goes in there. So the answer is negative 3 holes And what number goes on top here? 18 times 3, 54. So negative 3 and 7/18 is the answer. I double check it. 18 times 3 is 54, plus 7 is 61. Check. Good job. All right. The third example here, let's just buzz through the steps. I'll go a little faster on this one. So first I'm going to change them to improper. So this is 10/3. Look in the middle here. I have minus a negative. I'm not going to write that. I'm going to automatically change that to plus, just like we did when we did added and subtracted integers. So 9 times 5, 45, plus 7, 52 ninths. The thing I like about this problem is the common denominator I can change them both into is 9. That's really nice because the second one I don't have to change. So the first one I just have to times this by 3, which means I got to times that by 3. So my new fractions are 30 ninths plus 52 ninths. Easy. 30 plus 52 is 82 ninths. I know 9 goes into 82 9 whole times with 1 left over. So 9 and 1/9. I double check. 9 times 9 is 81, plus 1 is 82. Good. Alright, I want you to take a minute to try these two problems on your own, go through the steps, and be careful with your negatives and integer operations. Okay, now that you've had a chance to do those, I'm going to go through those a little quickly here. So this is 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is 13, plus 25, 28. Okay, the common denominator here is 20, times this by 5, times that by 5, times this by 4, this by 4. Okay, 13 times 5, that's going to be negative 65/20ths, plus 28 times 4. It's going to be 112/20ths. Alright, so negative 65 plus 112 is 47. And the denominator carries, and it is positive. 112 is bigger than negative 65. So 20 goes in there 2 whole times with 7 left over, so the answer is 2 and 7/20ths. Okay, next example. Alright, so first step, change it to improper. So this is going to be negative 3 times 5 is 15, 17/3 plus 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, negative 5/2. Alright, common denominator here is 6. So I need to times that one by 2 and that one by 2, this one by 3, and this one by 3. Alright, so 17 times 2, that's going to be negative 34/6, plus 5 times 3, that's negative 15/6. And then I just do the integer operation. Negative 34 plus negative 15 is negative 49. And 6 goes in there. 6 goes in there 8 times, so the answer is negative 8 and 1/6. I do a quick double check. 6 times 8 is 48, plus 1 is 49. Good, there's your answer. Good job.